you were given the chance to save somebody's life, wouldn't you? According to the United Network of Organ Sharing, or UNOS as it is more commonly referred to, there are 120,000 people waiting to receive a life-saving transplant. With each passing day without a donor, an average of 22 people will die. If more people signed up to be an organ donor, then this number would drop significantly. The Katie Capels Foundation says when a person decides to register as a donor, potentially 8 lives are saved. Today, I would like to persuade you to become an organ donor by sharing with you the pros of donating and by also going over any inaccurate information or myths that you might have heard. There are multiple pros for becoming an organ donor. One of the main ones is having the ability to save lives. The donor allows the recipient to have another chance at life and to go back to having a normal lifestyle. While saving the recipient, you're also saving their families. Those people have sat by their sick loved one's side, watching them be in pain and while continually getting worse. With each passing day, the hospital bill grows larger and larger. By donating, you're giving these families hope and are helping them feel relief financially, emotionally, and mentally. Another pro to consider is that your life won't be in vain. Having you and your family know that when you die, you are still helping those who are still barely living. Sometimes having your loved ones know that something so good came from your death can help them move on easier. Finally, even if your organs don't pass the test or you don't feel comfortable with the thought of your organs going into a stranger's body, you can do the selfless act of donating your body to science. By donating your body, you're allowing medical students to practice their procedures on your body. It is always more beneficial to learn on the real thing. Your body will be helping the future doctors who may end up working on your loved ones eventually learn how to properly do a procedure. Even with these pros for organ donation, a lot of people are still uncertain about it because of misconceptions. There are many myths about organ donation. One of the big ones is that people believe that the hospital will not work as hard to save their life if they are a donor. Mayo Clinic says that chances are, when you go to the hospital, you'll be seen by a doctor that specializes in the area that matches your emergency. They probably don't care if you're an organ donor, since their number one priority is to do everything possible to save your life. Most doctors would not hurt their reputation or waste the time and money that they put into their careers to risk it all by not doing everything that they could to help you. If you happen to be on life support and are a donor, the doctors and hospital staff do their normal procedure to check for brain activity. They will also do even more tests if necessary, free of charge, to ensure that the donor is truly brain dead. Another myth is that if you're an organ donor, you cannot have an open casket funeral. In reality, organ and tissue donation will not interfere with this. When organs are taken, the donor's body is treated with the same respect as a person going into surgery would receive. The surgeon will not make wild cuts that would show. Instead, they will cut just like they would in a normal surgery on someone who has to live with that scar for the rest of their life. Even donating skin wouldn't complicate having an open casket funeral. Mayo Clinic says that for a skin transplant, a very thin layer of skin, similar to a sunburn peel, would be taken off of the back of the recipient. A third major myth that people believe is that the rich and famous will go straight to the top of the donation list. Celebrities do not get priority over those who are worse off. It may seem that they get special treatment because they receive publicity over the sickness and recovery that normal people would not get. UNOS has many rules and factors that determine where on the list someone may fall. According to UNOS, they only consider a patient's medical information, such as severity of illness, time spent waiting, blood and tissue type, and more medical criteria. So after hearing all of these pros and misconceptions, would you consider becoming an organ donor? After my speech, I will go around and pass out flyers which tells you where to sign up. It is tragic how there is a shortage of organs, but such a high success rate in transplantation. According to UNOS, there is a 95% success rate for kidney transplantations, 85% for liver and heart, and 75% for lungs. Race and age are not an issue in signing up to become a donor. Donors are needed for all ethnic races. This is because transplant success rates increase when the organ is matched between two people of the same background. Every 10 minutes, someone new is added to the National Transplant Waiting List. Are you going to do anything to help? Even in death, you could do something heroic.